You know, that Jussie Smollett was convicted last week on 5 counts, felony counts that could land him in prison for 3 years. Black Lives Matter, the founder and president of Black Lives Matter, says that they're standing with Jussie Smollett as a black man, and nobody can understand what it's like to be a black man, even though the jury didn't buy that lie he was selling. But you know what, can I just share this with you, my personal opinion, and this is just my opinion. I think that Jussie Smollett should be charged with and convicted of a hate crime that is a federal statute. Because what he did was a hate crime, a crime purpose to gender hate towards white people, saying that 2 white men, and more specifically against Trump people, MAGA hat wearers, tied a noose around his neck, called him the N-word, tried to hang him. That's a hate crime. Well, he faked a hate crime, but it's still a hate crime. The fact that you plan to rob a bank, you sit down with 2 other people and you plan to rob that bank of its money, but all of a sudden by the time you get ready to, police stop you on the way to the bank, you didn't get a chance to rob it, you still get charged with attempted robbery. Jussie Smollett ought to be charged with a hate crime. That's my opinion. That's my legal opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can disavow it. But not just that. He ought to also have been charged with inciting a riot. That is to say, because if he had gotten his way, he would have been able to start a riot between black folk and white folk all over America. Same way you got Black Lives Matter now jumping in and saying, we don't care if he is guilty. We're standing with him because he was right. You see, riotous. That was riotous behavior that Jussie Smollett entered into. And he ought to be banned from all social media. And this is where I want to go. Jussie Smollett ought to be banned from all social media for all times, because it was clearly brought out in the trial that the reason why he committed this hate crime, or a fictitious hate crime, and that it was riotous in its sense to sow anger between black folk and white folk, riotous hate. He did it for the purpose of improving his social media standing, that if he put it out on social media, it would go viral. He should be banned from social media for the rest of his natural born lives. And Black Lives Matter for supporting. Listen, you may not think very much about our jury system. I don't. They convicted me twice, once in Florida for a crime I didn't do, and here in New York for a rigged up crime that got caught 10 years called armed robbery. So you know where I'm at with the courts. But I have to tell you this. All we have in America in terms of justice, and I tell you, I know black folk don't get the kind of justice they ought to get. I'll say that. I'm with you on that one. But for Black Lives Matter to stand up and defy the courts the way they are doing now and disavowing the jury verdict, they should be banned from social media as well, and should be banned from fundraising. They should be banned from CNN, from newsworthy outlets, because any newsworthy outlet that promotes them is promoting anarchy against our court and our judicial system. That's all we got. It ain't always fair. Many times it's blind. But what Black Lives Matter is saying regarding Jussie Smollett is that we defy and deny the courts. It's not right. Hate crimes, inciting riotous behavior, and banned from social media, both Black Lives Matter and Jussie Smollett should never be on another social platform. Me, I'm James David Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. And don't you forget it. Just think what my life would be like if I decided to embrace Black Lives Matter, or embrace Obama, or embrace blackness and defend people like Andrew Brown or Michael Brown or Trayvon Martin. Or if I embraced LGBTQ and said, man, and myself perform marriages. Imagine the wealth that I would have. Imagine how often you see me on the news and, and all the people of the community would be worshiping and saying what a great preacher and great pastor I am. You do know that would happen, right? I want you to consider that I will not and never under any circumstance nor the threat of death ever go anywhere near thinking about doing anything as satanic as that. But what I do want to ask you to do is to consider my righteousness. I'm the Lord's servant, and you might want to help me. You might want to say, well, listen, especially if you're at retirement age and your life is settled and your income's, you're pretty much settled for the rest of your days, but you have excess, so you have what you can give, or you can make this ministry. You can further this word to reach the 50,000 righteous men through your giving. Maybe you have stocks, or you have bonds, or you have properties, houses, or land, or jewelry that you could just give to the ministry, cars, automobiles, paintings. I'm just going to give them to that ministry. If Jesus is coming back to Harlem, to 123rd Street, then I want to give my possessions to prepare a place for him. Jesus said he's going to prepare a place for us, but I'm going to give my possessions, my paintings, my gold, my jewelry, my stocks, my land, my property, my houses to prepare a place for him when he comes back, that the land would truly be holy ground for James David Manning as his servant. Thank you for doing that. You'll know how to give. The Lord will show you how, but start doing it immediately. Time is of the essence.
A true man of God. Pastor is a man of God who gives his life to the Lord. He fears no man, and he chooses his battles. He is a very generous man, a loving man, and he truly loves the children in the ATLAH schools. He cares about their well-being, and he cares about the members of the church. Pastor is my father, and I am his son. He only hopes for the best for me. He cares about my well-being, and he is interested in how I am doing. He prays for me. I am a really, truly blessed person. He is a man of integrity and honor. Pastor is a man who I trust, and there are not many people who I trust. He helps me when I'm in need. He does not like to see me in hardships or in pain. Pastor is not a man who moans or gets huffy. He is a strong man, a man of power. He's a man who you will never understand because of what he has been through. What he has done for the people is far beyond what anyone can imagine. That is why I love him, and I know he is a true man of God. I put my life in his hands. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Pastor. Your son Canaan from the UK.